Shalom, y'all. Shalom.
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 Right.
Shalom.
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 Right. I hope everybody's well this morning. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me today.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Day of the week. What's up, Date?
Shalom.
Day of the
What's
week.
good, boy?
What's up? What's up?
Good morning. Good morning. All right, y'all. Now we do. Let's get right to it. Hold on. Let me bring this Bible up real quick. Bring the Bible. Bible. Let's see if y'all can see what I see. Everybody see the Bible?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to it, y'all. Okay, so we at King James Bible University in the House of the Lord Sheep of Israel, we've come to a crossroad of flesh and spirit. All right, that's where we at now. No more training wheels, y'all. All right. As we approach his marvelous light of knowledge and understanding, we are tasked, all of us, not just me and the elders, all of us, we're all tasked with upholding the doctrines and the teachings of our Creator, Yahweh, right? The means by which these judgments, doctrines, and teachings are disseminated is through his spirit and his word, JEHOVAH, who rests in the hearts of his servants who are willing to teach in spirit and in truth, right? And I shall prove his words, because you know how I say every time, these ain't my words. So let's start by going to John chapter 4. And we're going to hit up verse 24. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must, that's a commandment, must worship him in spirit and in truth. And we can go to 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. Ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy and separated nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises, confessions of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Told you. Let's go to Jeremiah. You got tools for that. Jeremiah chapter 3. Oh, this thing gonna act up today. We're gonna go to verse 15, y'all. I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Exodus. We'll go up to Exodus chapter 6 and verse 7. And I will take you to me for a people, that's Jehovah talking, and I'll be to you a guide, and you shall know that I am the spirit of your God, which brings you out from under the burdens of Egyptians, them people of bondage. So we can coming out of that bondage into that marvelous light. And we'll hit up Psalms chapter 32, verse 8. And he says to us, I will instruct you. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee, mine understanding, his understanding. All right. We rely on the guidance of the Most High God for understanding and righteousness, which is required in our hope of eternal unity with our Creator. That's what it's always been about. But the most important factors in this hope are faith and trust. Okay. Let's go to Proverbs, y'all. Chapter 3. And we're going to go to verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Spirit of God with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. All right. Let's go to James. I love when he talks, because I ain't got to do too much to save my throat. Chapter 1. We're going to go to 5 and 6 here as well. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh, that gives to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it should be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavers is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. So that's the wave in that multitude of people, and with any spirit, you're going to just start roaming around, just going to, just succumb to whatever thoughts, anything that comes into your head, just fly out, just start going by impulse, just doing dumb stuff. Let's go to Romans chapter 8, verses 24 and 25 in Romans chapter 8. The reason is we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man sees, why do he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Okay. Unfortunately, the smallest bit of doubt, it could corrupt our faith, right? And lead us on a path of sin, which will damage or even destroy our relationship with Jehovah. That's dangerous. Let's go to Romans. We're still here. Let's go in chapter 14 and verse 23. Speaking of that doubt, see, that doubt is damned if he learns, because he learns not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin, come from wicked thoughts. All right. Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 11. For that reason, beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your custom, language, tradition from backbiting, for there is no word so secret that shall go for naught. In the mouth, the message that belieth slayeth the soul. Okay? And we're going to go to Jude. Verse 4. This happens. There are certain men crept in unawares who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness and denying the only creator, JEHOVAH, and our creator of salvation, JEHOVAH. So in today's study, we'll be continuing the topic of fasting. But let's review the works we should be fasting from, or abstaining from, or refraining, or denying, or mortifying from, because this is what fasting is. All right, we're just moving in the spirit here and denying the things of the flesh. And how this could be achieved spiritually. Okay, going back to Galatians. Where you at, guys? Chapter 5 and verse 19. We're gonna focus on which one we're gonna focus on today. We're gonna focus on this, on lasciviousness, y'all. All right. We all know that Israelites are prospects. We ain't there yet. We ain't promised it. We are working towards it. And we have to hold fast to his commandments in order to achieve it. With this understanding, we also know that we are in the wilderness of this world, or the furnace of adversity, which is designed for our proving whether we are worthy to advance to the kingdom of God and share his eternity with him. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And we shall see what that is when we go to Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5. Because God saw the wickedness of man, male and female, ain't nobody excused, was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Right? I'm gonna hit up Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 9. We're gonna go up to this point right here. A through C. And I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver, women is refined, and we will try them as gold, men is tried. We here, y'all. So let's go to Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, and we're going to go to chapter 2, verse 5. And the reason of that is men is tried in the fire, in that desire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right here, right where we at. And stay in Sirach. Go down to chapter 27. And we're going to hit up verse 5 as well in here. The furnace, it proves the potter's vessels. So the trial, key word, the trial of man is in his reasoning. Our reasoning. We have a tendency to try to work out whatever wicked thoughts that come into our heads in order to justify the iniquity we are about to commit. That's just what we do. The beginning stages or conception of lust are those wicked thoughts brought forth with mischief in our reasoning. We try to be slick. We're working out those slick ways to get what we want in our hearts. And that's incontinency. That's that lasciviousness. Let's go to Job. chapter 15. We're gonna hit up verses 2 and 3. Should a wise man utter vain knowledge and fill his desire with the east spirit? Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Good questions. Go to 5 right here. For thy mouth utters thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Let's go down to 35. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and the desires it prepares deceit. I'm sure you've all heard of the term, I'll set them up while you knock them down, or someone with ulterior motives. They what they do is they sweet talk someone in order to get what they want. Lasciviousness works that way. It begins in the heart. And again, God knows every thought of our heart is wicked continually. It's just how it is. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 3. Go to 16. This is what happens. Moreover, the Spirit of God says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. So, that's in our desires or in our hearts. Let's see. How are we doing this here? Because I want to explain this a little bit more. Yes. All right, so Israel, right? In our minds, when we want to do something and we get it locked in, we that stretched forth necks, we stuck right in that position. We're stiff neck and we have that wantonness. Let's see what wantonness is. Because we're going to hit up this dictionary. Wantonness. You see that incontinency. You see whorish desires, because we're moving away from our God. We're doing different things. We're moving away from the commandments with those beginning thoughts. That foolish folly of sin. The sin is that with them wicked thoughts. All right. And it says that's that foolish desire of our understanding, walking, living, and mincing. Mincing. What does mincing look like? Okay, we only got one hit for that. Taking short steps, walking trippingly, small steps. That's like, you ever seen the cartoons when the bad guys or the evil dudes are they trying to sneak around, they doing that little sneaky type of walk? That's mincing. That's that little sneaky. That's just trying to get around to what you're trying to do. Tinkling. 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 One hit, y'all. That noise. I did hit up noise because I like to move around this thing so you can get a better understanding. Because the noise is those words in your head. So what else? Noise. That's that sounding about. What else I went to? Tinkling again. Where did I go? Okay, this is where I went. Declaration. So at this point, we're justifying in our heart which way we're about to turn. And that's left, the beginning of our trials. So basically, we as Israel, we get that talk, we convincing ourselves in our mind to turn away from the commandments of God and to begin to do the wrong thing. So we're convincing it's that tinkling, it's that let me convince myself, let me sneakily do this, craftily build ways around this, around my own self. And we hurt ourselves doing that. That's lasciviousness. Okay. Let's go to again, that's the beginning of our trial. That's where we start moving away. Let's go to Genesis chapter 35. We're gonna go to 35, y'all. Stay with me, cause this lasciviousness, y'all. It's pretty basic. It's not as hard as the word looks. 35 and 22. And it came to pass when the servants of Jehovah dwelt in that land, that Reuben, that's that servant, supposed to be a servant. Remember the servant? We went to lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the servants of Jacob were 12. The way you read it too, it helps you understand what's happening. Because at this point, we messed up. So Israel, we supposed to be a servant of Jehovah. And remember, Reuben supposed to be a servant. Supposed to remember that we're the servant, but we lay. Let's see what happened when we lay. Oh, waste. Bear. Waste. I'm seeing that. Forsake. Abandon. We abandon and we start moving away. Okay. Beguile. We becoming beguiled. Let's see what that means. Beguile. Deceive. Okay. I'm seeing how it moves a little. Entice. We're seducing us. Those thoughts. Seduce. Okay. Deceive. Ensnare. It's happening. It's that working. They're working. But what did the servants do it with? That the one that was supposed to be that servant did it with who? With Bilhah? Was Bilhah. Oh, unworried, unconcerned, carefree. So we, being the followers of Jehovah, check it out. We forget we are servants when we let our reasoning draw us towards our lust. And in our reasoning, we are not bothered by this. But deep down, it would clash with the righteousness we are supposed to be walking in. thus beginning our trials. Let's go to 2 Peter, chapter 2. Let's see. Just need this part right here. This is what happens to us. Beguiling unstable souls. That's what those thoughts and that sneakiness of our trying to work around things. That's what happens to us. And then you just don't care because now you shut you shut God out. You shut that door on him and you try to take the wheel back. So now you're just gonna let that lust come in and start doing those acts. Let's see Genesis chapter 49. Verse, I'm sorry, verses 2 through 4. Let's see how this works. So we're to gather ourselves together and understand the service of supplanting, because that's what we're supposed to do, supplant the flesh and hearken unto the spirit. So that's the servants of Yahweh, of Jehovah, your father. Reuben, remember, you're supposed to be a servant, but in now perfection and beauty, the firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of my dignity, and the excellency of power, unstable as knowledge. Thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest it. He went up to my couch. We did it. We let our instability push us over the ledge. We worked it out in our minds that we just gonna leave the ways of God and just do the ways of us and just let us do what we want to do in our minds. That's lasciviousness, y'all. And we can actually go spiritual to spiritual real quick. Because as I said, this is the beginning of our trials. And we're gonna see how that happened, how that really happened. First, you're gonna hear that tinkling voice of persuasion, that conversation you have in your own head. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 3. We're gonna go from 1 to 5. That tinkling. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Spirit of God had made. And he said unto the Spirit, yeah, Yahweh said, you should not learn of every elder of this location. And the woman, the Spirit said unto the serpent, we may learn of the works of the elders of the garden, but of the works of the elder which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh has said, you should not learn of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And check this out. That serpent said to the woman, you should not surely die. The reason is God knows that in that day you learn thereof, then your eyes should be open and you should be as gods, knowing good and evil. Then you're gonna have that, you're gonna convince yourself to do what you want, to go for it. So this is what happens here in verse 6. That spirit is sore. That elder was good for understanding, for food, and that it was pleasant to the understanders and the elder to be desired to make one wise. She took of the works thereof and did learn, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did learn. So check it. Once we stray from the commandments of God, our trials begin, okay? And we're about to walk through some gates. when that happens. Let's go down to 16 in this chapter, from 16 to 19. Let me just highlight that real quick. Go through these gates. Unto the Spirit he said, I will greatly multiply. I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth works, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto the man and female he said, because thou hast hearkened to the voice of thy wife, so you listen to your own mind, you let your own self, you play yourself like that, and has learned of that elder, which I commanded thee, saying thou shalt not learn of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou learn of it all the days of thy life. Thorns and thistles shall bring forth, those snares, and thou shalt learn the herb of the field. In sweat of thy face shalt thou learn doctrine. Thou shalt return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken. For dust thou perfection and beauty, and unto dust shalt thou return. That's a smack in the face. You got smacked. Why is that? Let's go to Romans. Chapter 1. We're going to read down a little bit, y'all. From 21 to 32. The reason is because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God. Neither were thankful. Check, just pay attention, y'all, because this has happened. This is what that seriousness gets us. Neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish desires were darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory, that eternal power of the uncorruptible God, into an image made like a corruptible man, male or female, birds, four-footed beasts, creeping things, all manner. Wherever God, for that reason, for which reason, Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own desires, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth, the law of God, into a lie, and worship. See how we changed the truth of God into a lie? Because we took our own thoughts and worked it out. So we said, nah, it ain't his way, it's how we gonna do it. That's how we change the truth. That's lasciviousness. Talking to yourself, convincing yourself, and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed, worship forever. Amen. For this cause, Yahweh gave them up into vile affection. So go ahead, yo, do what you gonna do. Let that lasciviousness turn into lust and turn into acts. For even their women, their spirits did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the spirit, burned with their lust, in their lust one toward another, men working with that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that repayment, that recompense of their error, which was meat. That was cool. It was just. It was just. It was just. They get that? It is what it is. You get what you get. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. That lasciviousness, those thoughts, those convincing thoughts, those sneaky behind backdoor thoughts to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate. You debating. I know I hear what God's saying, but I'm gonna do this because I believe I have to get it done. I have to do this. I have to have her. I have to have him. I have to do this. I gotta steal. I gotta kill. Look, bro. Deceit, because you're deceiving yourselves when you do that. Malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, because you hate God when you turn away. Despiteful, proud, that pride, arrogance to it. Boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, that father and that mother, without understanding, covenant breakers, most importantly, without natural affection, because it's inordinate affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the doctrine and teaching of Yahweh, they that which commit such things are worthy of death. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do it. Lasciviousness, y'all. 101. There ain't too much to say on that because that's pretty straightforward. But my personal hope for the studies of the first day of the week, my personal hope is whatever we learn together, we can utilize it on the most personal level. That's why I speak to y'all the way I speak. I look at it more so as y'all my family. So we have to be practical in how we talk. I don't try to talk in a general sense because I'm talking to y'all. I talk to y'all like we talking one-on-one. You know what I mean? I'm your brother. So again, these studies that at least what I conduct, I want it to be on a more personal level. I want you to see how it works in your life and how you could work around it. So you could do your own personal studies to see where else you may find lasciviousness in the scriptures. It's all over. But we have approached the question once again this week. Why fast? Right? We are overwhelmed with thoughts which are contrary to the commandments of God. Overwhelmed with them. It is essential to utilize each and every tool at our disposal to help combat any wicked thoughts that may arise. So remember Satan. He has 666 ways. Elder Lynn tells us all the time, 666 ways to knock us off our square. But we have one powerful way to hold to the spirit of our God. Powerful way. Let's go to James. Chapter 5. Verses 13 and 14. Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. All right? That pause is intentional. Is any merry? Let him confess psalms. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church, of this body. Let him call for the elders. And let them pray over him, anointing him with that anointment in the way of the Creator. Verse 8 real quick. Same chapter. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, your desires. The reason that the coming of the Creator draws nigh. Elder Johnson says that a lot too. Like we in this stage now, and that's why I said at the beginning of the study that we at that crossroad. We at that point, y'all. There ain't no going back. I'm not speaking generally no more. I'm speaking spiritually. Everything I speak is gonna be in spiritual mode. So y'all better stay with me. Keep up. Let's go to Romans chapter 8. And I'm going to hit up 26. Likewise, the Spirit also helps our infirmities. The reason is we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself makes intercession for us with groanings, which cannot be uttered. Keeping our thoughts on JEHOVAH chases away any impure thoughts, making that noise in our minds. That's why I'm focusing on prayer. I'm fasting through prayer, because we're combating thoughts, right? Let's go to Exodus 14. Chapter 14 and verse 14. Spirit of God shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. First Corinthians, y'all. 14, chapter 14, verse 15. What is it then? I will pray, confess with the Spirit, and I will pray, confess with the understanding also. I will confess in the Spirit. I will confess with the understanding also. Clarified. The Spirit. Because what you think those thoughts are? Those thoughts is that's spirit, y'all. There's a war going on inside. No man is safe from. Yeah. The understanding that those thoughts and our reasoning and that noise is actually a spiritual fight. I'm telling y'all. There's actually nothing physical we could do about it. So we need the Spirit of God to fight for us. Again, while I'm focusing on prayer and the means of fasting in this week. Let's go to Mark. Chapter 9, verse 29. I really want y'all to get this, because this is a serious thing, man. He said to him, this kind came forth by nothing but prayer and fasting, confession and abstaining, confession, abstinence, confession, mortifying from those thoughts. Peel yourself away from that stuff. Whatever you're thinking, talk to God. Let him know what's going on in your mind. Let him know why you thinking it, because there's a reason too. Let him know you're trying to work something evil out, and let him go to war for you. Go to Psalms 91. We're going to go to verse 1 through 4, chapter 91. I feel in my heart, y'all. Feeling a little emotional right now. He that dwelled in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Spirit of God, here is my refuge, my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. The noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Now, I'm feeling this, y'all, because I'm talking to myself too right now. This is really profound to me right now. This is touching me. So if I feel it sound a little choked, excuse me. We can go to Acts chapter 3, verse 19. Because we know what we're doing, we're thinking these things. So we should repent for that reason and be converted, that your wicked thoughts may be blotted out when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Creator. Okay? When it comes to controlling our thoughts, we must remember something. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 4 and 5. I'll read this and then I'll explain it. The wife has not power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise, also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one another, the other. Defraud ye not one the other, including it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinence. That wife, get back in this dictionary, y'all. I'm manned up. I'm all right, y'all. Let's get back to it. That wife that bear a fruit, that works, that woman, what's that woman? Wait. That spirit, that maid, do I got something else? Nah, let's go to the maid then. What's the maid? That maid, that servant, y'all. Okay. And that servant has no power over the body, but, however, the husband, husband, the house, the head, the head. That leader, that authority. I'm gonna clear it up. Just let me get one more word, y'all. That incontinency, we need to know what that is. Incontinency. Incontinency. Ooh, dishonesty. All right, let's see how that works, how this is reading. So the servant has no power over her own body, but the head, the authority. And likewise, also the authority, the head, has no power over his own body, but the spirit. Defraud ye not one the other, including to be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and you come together again, and Satan tempt you not for your dishonesty. So we have to take control, huh? So with fasting, through prayer, we can at least begin to be honest with ourselves and gain control of our own thoughts, that they're aligned with the commandments of JEHOVAH. That is what's being said. Not giving in to any wicked thoughts popping up in our head or in our mind, which reason in the deceitful manner toward the lust that may be conceived thereof. Okay, let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. But have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty. That's them thoughts. Not not living in craftiness, trying to be slick about things, nor handling the word of God deceitfully, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of God. Yes? Yes. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. Yes. But he that will love life and see good days, let him fast refrain his tongue from evil, his ways, his traditions, from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile. What's guile? What's guile, y'all? Deceit? Hmm. Oh, wow, look at that. Cunning, craftiness, deception. All right, that's pretty straightforward. Let's go to Genesis chapter 17, verse 7. It's just Jehovah speaking to us. I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a guide unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. Okay, what's the generations? Generations. What's the generation? What is a generation? Let's see. Determination. Let's see how that works in that verse. I will establish my covenant between you, me, and thee, and thy seed after in their determinations. In our reasoning for an everlasting covenant to be a guide. So he's going to guide us through our determinations. We keep our mind on him and to thy seed after thee. So it's all about the way we think, how we approach things. Through prayer and fasting from lasciviousness, which are those deceitful reasonings, justifications, guiding us towards the conception and acts of lust, and through the faith and the strength and the might of God's protection, helping us to abstain from those issues, we will be able to maintain the covenant with our Creator and a oneness with His Spirit, thus manifesting Emmanuel, which we always talk about, God with us. Let's go to Romans chapter 1. You know we going first. Hold on, let me get rid of this first. Bye negative. Let's go here. Verse 20. The reason of that is the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. You understand what that means in this situation? Those invisible things, those things in our mind, they're clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. We're the things that are made, right? There's no excuse for it. Let's give it back to him. And his guy had his governance. Give him the will back. It'll help us. Let's go to Jeremiah. This is gonna be my last one, y'all. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. This Jehovah speaking to us. Let's hear him out. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, said the Spirit of God, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. That gives us hope. That peace that he has towards us, that he wants us to have, it gives us hope. So we could come out of this, all right? Hold on, let me get to y'all real quick. With those thoughts of peace and that hope that we have, we can actually move within those commandments. We could combat that lasciviousness, those beginning stages of lust, that pride that we have in our hearts, to move away from those thoughts with the fasting by prayer, through prayer in this case, because there's a thought and we got to abstain from those thoughts, and God could jump in and fight for us. So we have to allow him to do that. I welcome any comments or thoughts on what was spoken on and how you may go forward from this point, recognizing when lasciviousness may occur in your life, or if you've had any by any other way coming to that crossroad, and how you gave it up, or did it overtake you and you had to come back from it? Sister Pittman,
Yeah, shalom, Deacon Hicks.
shalom.
Another beautiful, beautiful teaching. Oh my gosh. This is so simple, and easy. And I thank Jehovah for you, for just the way that you broke this teaching down today, because I know what that fight is like, and I still have that fight
Mm,
with lasciviousness. And but I just couldn't figure out the thoughts. The only thing I knew is that, okay, the thoughts that I'm thinking I should not be thinking. So I would just pray to Jehovah and just say, take these thoughts from me, and you know um you know do whatever it takes to keep me from thinking these thoughts. And like sometimes if I wake up like early morning hours, like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, for whatever reason. But and I can't go straight back to sleep. And then my mind starts to wander, but it's still, I know I need some rest. So then I'll go and I'll grab my phone and try to read some words, but it's like these thoughts just be like invading my mind, but I keep reading and meditating, and eventually it's like all of a sudden I'll start to fall asleep. And and so I this has been going on, like a while. And I was like, okay, I just took it as him hearing me and just delivering me, and just like would put me to sleep, or have somebody call me, or something would happen that would invade those thoughts to keep it. But looking at what you brought out today, I see the path of what was actually going on. So I just want to thank Jehovah for putting this teaching on you to do today, because it's really helped me to understand that process that I was going through. And so now I can better understand what I need to do. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And
Thank you.
shalom to everyone.
Shalom to you, sister. Brother Silver, what's up, man?
Everything you said. Amen, amen. I'm going through this right now. Also, I need to apologize to Elder Mike and you guys, because the thoughts come like to be against you guys. Then I have fight back. It's like like the lion with the 100 hyenas around taking pieces. You taking pieces that tears come to your eyes. I cannot even say anything. But sometimes things he say I can put it, but the things don't allow me to come. Like like some people hold you. You want to go forward, they hold you. Yeah, it's insane. Just wake up and man, I pray at least the prayers of the elder to help me out, and man, that's exactly what I say. And another thing too, people come with the words like, oh, don't worry about it, don't worry about, oh no, then don't then I asked myself, well, why? What I have done? What he have done to me? What you guys have done to me? It's nothing. It's me against the holy people. I cannot do this. So in that process,
Mm-hmm.
they make you guilt for you do stupid thing. They come like, I want to give up, or I want to kill myself. I want to see how things.
Yep.
It starts giving all this stuff, and then you see, this is insane. Insane. Yeah, it's I mean, now I'm start taking notes, learning how to take notes. Man, as a boy, yeah. See right now, I don't want to even show up because I feel so shame. And then first they stopped me, and second elder told me come here. Then I went, and the last time I was kind of lost, and then my phone ring. Was the elder call me and say, hey brother, where you at? Man, I could collapse.
Mm.
But nobody, how am I gonna be against a man? Help me to go through this. Not man, but his spirit. And the brother David, Darren, all the brothers. Oh, the
God,
meetings
God gonna send it to you, bro. So and
is
I'm seeing that you're recognizing that. I'm seeing
yeah.
that
Oh
you're
man,
recognizing that
it's not
he
joke.
sent those men to you to, to uplift you and get you out of that funk. You know what I mean?
I
And he
mean, I
gonna
don't
do
go
that
out.
for you, bro. You
I'm
stay,
going.
you stay, you stay on the course.
Yeah,
And
indeed. There's no other way. I mean, I'll die try. I mean, I'll die here. I cannot go nowhere. This is the place. And then I've been counted
glad
also.
you're here, bro. We're glad you're here too, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No doubt, bro.
Hey,
Thanks so much for everything.
hey,
Let
hey,
Elder
hey,
talk to
hey,
you.
hey, Deacon. I'm gonna have you pull the Bibles. I want you to see something real quick. I want to
Got
ask
you.
everybody to see something.
Got
And
you. Got
go
you.
and go over to John 15:18.
John 15:18.
Yeah,
On it.
yeah, real quick.
I'm on it.
Yeah. Okay. 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 So what I want you to know, providing the world hated you, and this is what he's talking about with people who have knowledge of God. And I'm gonna show you that in 1 second. He said, "Ye know that it hated me before it hated you." So I'm gonna show you why people hate people for certain reasons.
Mm.
2 Corinthians
Yeah.
Let's go to chapter 10.
Yes, sir.
Let's start at verse 4.
On it.
They tell you, it says that the weapon of warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, pulling down strongholds, casting down imaginations, key, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bring it into captivity. So what that's doing is let you know one thing that is clear. When people have knowledge of God, people going to always come against you. I can care less how whoever they are, because they'll sit there and they're going to always point it to the person. Always. They're going to point it directly to the person, not sitting there knowing what you're hating is actually what that person is saying that's coming from God. But they're going to always put it on the person. So what they're going to do, they're going to sit there and say who this person think they are, this person this person, sitting there always want to sit there and reprimand people for this. They want to say that. They're going to always do this. But they're not knowing this is scripture and they can see it. Because that's one of the reasons we like to keep the Bibles up. Mm. And you can see it's coming from there. So the main thing is people will always speak against myself, speak against the other elders, speak against the deacons. But we got to understand one thing. People will hate the word, and that's that flesh fighting against us. So what do you got to do? You got to pull down every imagination that's in your heart. And we'll finish it out with Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And that'll show you those imaginations, what goes on. And we'll see it. And you already got it highlighted. It says, and God saw the wickedness of man, that's male and female, was great in the earth, and every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil continually. Mm. This is something, it comes with the job when we go into the field. The main thing is what people have to do is curb that, because that's where we can miss kingdoms. Because what happened with a lot of us, we'll sit there and think that we dislike this person, we dislike this person, we dislike this person. But the thing is what I showed people yesterday. So I become your enemy because I told you the truth. And we have to teach this word without apology. But people want you to teach it and preach it with an apology. And that's why I like to show people and be an example where I teach without apology, to where all the deacons and all the elders, they teach without apology, because all we doing is teaching the word of God. We all believe what the word says, so we're going to speak it, and we do it without apology. So my brothers, same with you. You can have a lot of issues that's going on, but you got to remember your flesh is fighting against what's going on with us, because we're going to teach it without apology. Okay.
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
I don't have nothing against you, as you said. And that day you called me, I was right there in Virginia, lost quite. And then you called me, and my heart, like, like my father or my mom, like things I miss, hey, where you at? This is, boy, I'm sorry. I apologize for everything.
So it's no reason for an apology. The thing is just make sure you stay the course. So that's the main thing. You stay the course, because no matter what, you have one soul to save. And all we can do is continually give you all the tools you need to make sure you can battle that flesh. Because just like most people think they can do, that flesh is not nothing to play with. That's and the main thing is you can't get away from it because it's with you. So you have a battle to fight. So the main thing is you got to struggle with that flesh day in and day out, and you never succumb. You can get up and, okay, all right, flesh, let's go with it.
We got the day.
Yeah, got all day. You go at it. So just remember that, my brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for everything.
You good, bro. Shalom to you, brother. Sister Eva?
Shalom, shalom, Deacon,
Oh,
and
sis.
everybody. Um, that I'm just now starting to um really accept Genesis 6 and 5, and things are starting to come together, in a simpler form, just how you just explained it just then. And with Elder Johnson also, like every day it's a battle. Like I can't trust anything, my thoughts. And so the other day, I'm sick in the bed, barely can move, and I'm watching Elder Jenkins. And when it goes off, I had a thought like I should post that on a church I used to go to's on Facebook page. Where'd that come from? I haven't thought about these people, right? But it felt like something I should do, right? And then I said, wait a minute, pray on it, Eva. Take it through the motions. Don't be haste. Don't just act on stuff that comes through your head. And so I thought about it, and talked about it with the Most High. And the question was like, well, what you trying to attain? I had to like question myself and interrogate myself. And it's like, are you mad? Are you still mad that he bamboozled you? Because the vengeance is the Lord's. You is out of line. If it is it going to help anybody? Are you edifying anything of the body? I had to take, and it was just a simple thing that came through my head. But I'm getting a better understanding, like Eva. Every imagination of yours is wicked. And that was very hard to accept, that that's the way I think, and I can't do this alone. I have to, reach out to the Most High and be guided by Him, because I can't get through none of this. So that was my experience, and it just happened, and I was like, oh, okay. So thanks for allowing me to share that.
Nah, it's all good. Thank you for sharing. And shalom to you, sis. Uh, Samson, Dewana.
Shalom, shalom,
Shalom,
everyone.
shalom.
So, on my way to work, I always pray before when I get up in the morning time, and I always ask the Lord to show me myself. So, on my way to work this morning, I had the GPS on, and it told me where to get off at. But instead of me getting off there, I jumped over and got off at the next exit. And Father showed me that that's what my problem is. That I'm asking Him to show me myself, but instead of when He showed me myself, I still do what I want to do. So I get to work and I read Job 15, and it told me about myself. And then you come on and you read Romans 1 and 21 through 32. It told me about myself. It told me about the wickedness that I'm doing and that I have to fix this. If He's showing me, I have to correct this because these are the things that I'm doing. I'm asking Him to show me, but I'm not listening to what He showed me. So I gotta give that up and trust in everything that He say, because I come to my lessons, I listen, I take my notes. But what good does it do to come to the lessons and take the notes if I'm not taking heed? And for that, I have to repent because I don't want to be a stitch in His nose. So that's what I had to share this morning. And I hope that me saying that it helps someone else, because we have to listen to what the Most High is telling us and not lean to our own understanding.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me share.
Hey, D,
Yes, sir.
a lot of times I want people to understand one thing. A lot of times I show you guys movie clips, but I want you to see the spiritual realm behind it. Because a lot of times movies will come out and they'll show you something, but if you can see it in contrast, you can really understand what's going on. And the same thing is, I'm gonna show you one. I want to show you 2 little clips, about 4 minutes. And what I want you guys to see is this. I used to tell people this all the time. So people who've been here a while, they know what I'm talking about. When I talk about, I said, after you guys get out the shower, I want you to stay naked. I want you to look in the mirror, see yourself for who you really are. And one thing people can understand is it's what you see in front of you. And that's what I want people to see. And I want to show you something. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you this to where you can see it. I'm gonna show you 2 clips. I want you to pay real close attention to it. Not for you to respond to this, because a lot of people, this is another issue that we have. We like to respond soon as we see, oh yeah, that's the worst thing to do. That's why a lot of times we'll go off on a deep tangent on something that we shouldn't be doing. Can everybody see that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
we
play.
see it.
I'm gonna play a sample and just tell me if you can hear it. Can
Yeah.
y'all hear?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it up more. I'm gonna turn it up a little more to make sure you guys can hear it. And I want you to pay real close, extremely close attention, extreme close attention to what's going to happen.
You don't understand anything. The worst one is coming up. Next is the magic mirror gate. Our trio has to face his true self.
So what? That won't be too hard for him.
Ah, that's what everyone thinks. But kind people find that they are cruel. Brave men discover that they are really cowards. Confronted with their true selves, most men run away, screaming.
I want to show you this last part. I'm gonna make sure you see this last part on what happened. And this is the part I was talking about. Let me get it sped up to it. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. And let me make sure this is, I want to make sure this is the right one. 1 second. Let me see. I can make sure this is the right one. Yep, that's the right one. Okay.
Oh,
Wait a minute. I had the 1 second. I just had that one. And I need y'all to see that what I'm talking about. Because it's actually gonna tell you everything you need to know. And let me show. Yep, this is the one right here. Okay. Let me get rid of that. I deleted the wrong one. Sorry about that. Real quick. Yep, this is it. Okay. Here we go now.
It's going too far. What if they really do know about me and Fantasia?
That's the catch. So what happens is this. When you look in the mirror, and a lot of people is going to look in the mirror and really not see themselves. They're going to see everything else but themselves. When you see who you really are, you know, a lot of people where you'll hear me tell people, I done counsel people, I tell them they passive aggressive, they do different things because they're going to think they're a certain way. But when you notice yourself for who you really are and what you're really about, if you sit there and you think that you better than everybody, you think that everybody else got issues and you never do, you lying to yourself and saying that's what you going through, sister. You sitting there and you coming to realizing of your true self and what you need to straighten out.
Yes.
Now, the main thing is this. You straighten that, you get that straight because he's showing you yourself and you truly recognize it. And as you truly recognize it, you can truly work on it to get it right.
Yes.
But you have a lot of people. I'm telling you right now, that's why I say a lot of us back here ain't going to make it because no matter what, we're going to come up with an excuse to do what we do. And when you come before the Most High, He's going to say, I never knew you.
Right.
No matter what, always sit there. When you sit there, the same thing is with you, people around you, your husband, your kids, whatever. If you sit there and you have a problem with them, don't look at them first. Look at yourself first. Always. Don't never change this. Because the main thing is, what can you do to correct it? Not sitting there, oh, he's this, he's that, he's this, she's that, she's that. That's what's going to put people in a bad position every time because you passing judgment on something and you got to remember you're dealing with flesh.
Yes.
The video I just showed you is where the guy who threw the book is on the outside, but he's showing you on the inside, which within the spirit. That spirit shows our spirits is evil, and we need to take hold to it. So the same thing is you have to come before that mirror, stand on who it is, stand on who this person is, and you got to kill that person dead. Because the same thing is if you're the same person and you have the same inclinations that you had last year and the year before last and the year before last and the year before last, you ain't changed.
Right.
So you have to change. You have to make sure that change happens. As long as you make that change, the Most High will always sit there and He can understand you can move forward. But if you don't do that, I'm telling you right now, as I said, many people going to stand before that mirror and say, well, they didn't like what they see and they still did it. Oh, because this person did this. Oh, this did this. This person did this. This is why I sit there and I say that what I say, and we do it without apology. because the main thing is I don't say anything against anyone to sit there to hurt feelings. What I do, I tell you what you need to do to make sure you can get into the kingdom. You need to when you step out that vehicle that you in, I want you to sit there. You have in your mind that a piece of luggage, and you sit there, whatever one of those pieces are, you take that out that piece of luggage and you leave it there.
Yes.
And you sit there and you say, I'll tell you what, see, you decided to get something out of that pool. You need to sit there and leave it there. And don't take that no more with you, period.
Yeah.
You saying, well, I don't want to do, you leave that right, when you get out the car, you leave that systematically right there. And don't you ever go back and pick it up again.
Yes.
You done with it. All right?
Yes, Elder.
All right, my
Thank
sister.
you.
You're more than welcome.
I'm hearing that for myself too, sister. You ain't by yourself. Trust me on that.
Yeah, I have been so stubborn, and my husband tells me that all the time that, the stiff neck, but I couldn't see it. But this morning I actually saw it, and after I came and I read Job and I understood, and then you came back with Romans, it's like he told me then, this is, you want me to show you, you've been asking me to show you, here you are. And I did not like what I saw. I didn't.
I'll tell
So
you.
I know that that has to change. Like he said, leave it there. Don't
Yeah,
pick it back up.
right.
Oh, you leave it wherever you are right now. You put that out the car. And
Yes, sir.
don't you ever bring that back home.
Yes.
You can do your goodbyes with that attitude. You can sit there and do all your goodbyes right there. Okay, I gotta go.
Yes.
We
Good,
was
just like
cool. Yeah, we was running buddies, but I gotta let you go.
Gotta
I
let you.
gotta let you
that.
go. When you turn, you walk away from them.
Yes.
Oh, they're gonna cry and holler. Sometimes they're gonna come knock at your window trying to get back in. You tell them, hell no.
Yes. I
We're
got it.
all right. All
All
right.
right, thank you, sister.
Thank
Shalom
you.
to you.
Both of
Shalom.
you. Shalom, shalom.
Asante.
Shalom, Deacon Hicks.
Shalom, sis.
Hey, at the beginning of the video, I'm sorry for interrupting the comments and everything and everybody sharing, but I got a family emergency right after you gave us Wilson 111. And just by hearing the comments, I know I need to listen to this lesson. So I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you to please post this lesson. I missed everything.
No problem. Done.
Please, thank you. Would it be on SharePoint?
We'll post it out. It's no problem.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay.
Shalom, sister.
All right. Shalom.
Brother and sister Stanley.
Shalom, Deacon Hicks.
Oh, sister. Shalom, bro.
How you doing?
I am good this morning.
Good.
Through it, work it through it.
Oh yeah. I missed that last verse, Jeremiah 29. My internet is bad here. It's going in and out.
Yeah, that was Jeremiah 29 and 11.
Jeremiah 29 and 11.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No
And I
problem.
just want to say I just appreciate the way you lay the word out so we can see it clearly and understand it and apply it to our lives. I really, really appreciate that. And I just want to share with everyone that, this tinkling of our minds that we get, that draws us away and causes us to walk contrary to God. I'm speaking of myself. I was just dealing with that probably a couple of weeks ago. It was set in my own heart to do something. And when it was done, I'm like, okay, I done went the wrong way. But what I did was, once I did it, I called up my sister and I told my sister, because before I did it, I talked with her, you know, And she was like, oh, yeah, no problem. That's okay. But the thing is just like you laid it out. When we're set in that stiff neck way to do it our way, we gonna do it because we set to do it. And all that tinkling, those thoughts that's going through our mind, that just carries you on into that act of iniquity. But I had to call my sister and let her know, that had nothing to do with you. That was already set in my heart to do it. Because sometimes you just want to find something or someone you think can side with you, side with that flesh. And then it makes it okay. It's like, okay, you good.
Partner in
But
crime.
yeah, exactly. But I called my sister to let her know, you know what, don't even take that on, because the Bible tells us clearly, every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust. And I said, before I even call you, my neck was already stiff. It was already set in my heart to do. So I just appreciate, the way, the word comes through you, and shows me what I need to do and align myself with Jehovah and keep my flesh on the altar every day, all day. And I just want to say shalom.
Shalom. Appreciate you, sister.
Thank you.
Sister Tamika.
Shalom, Deacon Hicks. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom to you.
I was going to take my hand down, but I know this is needing to be said because this has been a fight for me in reference to for more than a year now. Well, the first part of it, the Most High freed me from. But I'm gonna be very transparent, and I think probably the second time other than the first fruits to be very transparent. And as a mother, I take like being a mother very like seriously. And as a mother, you want to be protective and things. And when my son was going through things, I'm not totally sure. I said I just knew that when he wasn't teaching anymore or whatever was done in 23, the imaginations rose up in me to feel as though, oh, that's your son, like, and uh to try to have some type of protective stance, like, oh, I'm not going to be a part of this anymore, or I'm going to listen, but I'm not going to go in the back anymore. The enemy had me in that place for almost a year, to the point that's why I missed out on being a part of the Bible investment. I missed out on so much because of that imagination or that wicked place he had me at, but I couldn't see that it was wicked at that time. But last summer, God broke that in me, and I had to, because I felt like I should have received a call. I had some type of mentality that I should have been explained to what was going on. I had to call Elder and I had to apologize to him because I said that this was the reason why I wasn't in the back, and had a real conversation with him. And he understood, and we talked and everything. And that's why I was able to take part in the first fruits and come. And then so much was able to be done. But then it's like, I feel like now I'm back at that Naphtali, that trial again. But this time he's like, you're going to walk through this, and you're going to, because he had to, they don't belong to you. Your children, you were used to bring them here, but they're mine. Each of them have their own walk. Each of them going to go their way that he's going to take them. And I'm praying that it's the way of the Most High, but I have to stand in that place. So with the fasting, as when you brought this out with the lasciviousness and all of this, it's like, this is it's blaring, and we wrestle not against flesh and blood, and this is what I've been wrestling with. But I'm thankful because thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against him. And I said, I'm not going back to that place. I'm not going to miss out on what the Most High has for me. I have to pray and keep myself where he has me. And what their walk is, it's going to be their walk. But this is the most difficult time for me as a mother. My daughter is away at college, and she called me. It's like, Mom, it's robberies going on around here. They're shutting down our heart. And I can't be there, but God can. His spirit can. And my other children, and I'm like, one is in California, one is driving all the time, and they're all different places. And it's like, God help. For you said you are a very present help. You are my refuge and my strength, a very present help in trouble. And he just has me standing still, and I'm grateful for this fast. I'm grateful because even beyond the fast, I sometimes go further than the Tuesday or the one day because I need it. And he has me in this place, being presented with various things that I thought he dealt with me about, and that I was condemned for and killed, but they're now coming at me, and I'm like, but I'm grateful because it just is having me to be more in his word, and it's perfecting my patience, and it's strengthening me, and I have nowhere to turn but to him. Me and my mother is on the outs. My sister, my siblings, my only two siblings, I can't talk to them. We're no longer in conversation because of my stance. And I just feel like alone. And I know I'm not alone because I have my family here, but this is where I am, and I'm thankful for your study today. I'm thankful for me being able to bring that out because a lot of times he wants to close me, have things to not be said because of fear for how I may look or how I may sound or this and the other. But he's even pressing me through that. The Most High is taking me through that to shed all of that off because he has a work for me to do. And I can't be constricted by what the enemy is, his taunts and his mockery. And I'm holding on to just God, his spirit, and JEHOVAH and what he has planned for me. And I'm walking into it. And that's where I'm a stand. But thank you for allowing me to share.
Yeah. Hey, Deacon.
Yep.
Sister Tamika.
Yes, sir.
So you want to be straight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna share something with you
Okay.
that I normally won't share with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing is what happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're talking about with your son.
Yeah.
But what you always have to remember with me, and then the entire time you knew me, I always been a straight shooter with you,
Mm-hmm.
doing all the things what we did. But what I want you to know is one thing: he was only in California to get you here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you ever forget that one. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, you have a tug with your flesh because that's the issue, even why they separate. That's why they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing is you thought for whatever happened that you're gonna do what you need to do in your stance and your protests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never protest against God
Yeah.
because what happened happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the main thing, which the same thing as Elder Jenkins know because he was on the phone with us, that we never had qualms with your son.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. We all on speaking terms with your son.
Yes.
But the thing is, we need people to make sure they do what they're supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
And that was it.
No, I'm very aware of that, Elder. And that's why I said what I went through the year ago, because I was in that place. But I said where I am now, I'm not there. Now I'm very aware of that. But I was just speaking on how as a mother, we get confused sometimes if we want to take our protection of our children and think we going beyond or thinking we're doing something, but it's God. It's not me.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, and then we're gonna let him move on to the next one. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When you was born, were you born with your children?
No.
When you leave here, you gonna leave with your children.
No, sir.
You got one soul to save.
Yes.
You have raised them up to the best of your ability to get them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Show them the way to go, and now you can be one of the best counselors to where they can get advice from.
Mm-hmm.
You continually move forward, but you make sure you get your soul situated. You make your election sure. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then I'm gonna talk to you later anyway, 'cause I need to talk to you about something else. But
Okay.
it ain't about none of this. It's about something else.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sister. Thank you. Thank you.
Shalom. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And shalom to everyone. Thank you.
All right. Brother, sister, Boop.
Shalom, Deacon. Shalom,
Shalom, sis.
everyone. I just wanted to say that I do appreciate the simplicity of the way you teach. Because I probably wouldn't get none of this, but you do teach in such a way that I'm able to get it. You know, I get it, from some of the other elders and deacons as well, but it just seems like out of the whole thing, you have certain ones that you can grasp what they're saying because of the style that they teach. And so I I got this today a lot better than some of the other times. And faith and trust is something that I have struggled with in my fleshly desires. So I was able to see today that lasciviousness is a whole lot different than what I thought. I was looking at it in the carnal way, and I was able to see today that it moves a lot different than I thought. I have been really, really, how do I say, I've always thought that, oh, I won't talk, or I'll just keep my mouth closed and just, ease on through everything. But a lot of times, if you don't say anything, people don't know how to deal with you. So, um, I a lot of times in life, the Most High will snatch your security blanket from you, and that's what happened with me. The only person I felt like loved me in my life, Most High snatched that when I was 15. So I was about basically dropped out of here in the world, you know, alone. So I thought, but after going through all the things that I've gone through, I see now that that was just to make me show me that I had to depend on him and not these people that he put in my life. And so here I am. I'm learning things that I never thought possible now. Um, nothing has ever been easy for me. And this life this walk that I'm on now is the hardest thing I ever did in my life. Learning about the Most High, learning about myself, my thoughts, I'm seeing is one of my biggest enemies. You know, sometimes I'll have a thought and I'm like, where did that come from? And I know that it's sin in me. So I know I'm kind of all over the place, but
Follow you. I'm following you.
it's just, it makes me feel better when I think that there's something better than, you know, like yesterday, different ones were saying when we were in Zoom, different ones were saying they were in the church for this many years and that many years and that, and I couldn't even I couldn't even say anything because I wasn't in there at all. I was just out there, you know, dropped out there just doing whatever, you know. I I haven't been in church all my life, you know. I just was doing whatever. But I came to a point in my life that I knew I can't continue to do that. I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be just one of these people that just, you know, just doing whatever. I know there's a Most High God. I know that. And that's what I want. That's what I want for my life. You know, I I always say I never got away with anything. If there was something that I did, I always got chastised, you know, by the Most High, by life, by people, you know, I always got chastised. And I think there's a reason for that as well. There's a movie that I watched a long time ago where this guy had sold his soul and he was trying to keep the little boy from selling his, and he told the devil said, well, you can have me. And the devil he started laughing. He said, ha, 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 I already got you. I don't want to be that. So all the whippings I get, I'm thankful for. I'm appreciative for KJBU, Lost Sheep of Israel, House of the Lost Sheep of Israel, because without that, I wouldn't have anything. I'm just so thankful. And I appreciate all the deacons and all the elders and all the teachings that go out. Because, like I said, this is the hardest thing I have ever done. This is the only thing I have ever actually stuck with. And I'm thankful. And earlier, when you said that you got emotional, I understood, because at that very point, it's when I was already emotional, because you said we can go to the Most High. So that's all I have to say. And I didn't mean to get on here and be all weepy, but shalom, everyone, and shalom.
Just you recognize the fact that we have the Most High as our shield and our refuge. So we stay in that, and that strength gonna come. And whenever those thoughts arise, we just go to Him, and it's just that simple. I appreciate your input, Sister Wooten. Shalom to you. Yo, Deke, what's up, bro?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good, man.
Yeah,
Shalom,
man.
Deacon.
Shalom.
Man, yeah, this topic keep coming back up over and over and over. And I know I'm not seeing it for no reason. It's very much so right in front of my face on purpose, because I know it's something that I'm dealing with, and I know that it's something that I'm going through. But it's like, as I sit here and think about it, it's something that I've been dealing with for a very long time, as a matter of fact. And it's to where, like, no matter what, it's like I look at myself, and it's always like I'm sitting here, it's always something else that's there. It ain't just like, oh, I'm good with this now. No, it's always something else that's there that's a problem. And, you know, with this lasciviousness and everything like that, that being present, it just, I try not to get discouraged, and I try not to get, you know, so bad on my, like, just so hard on myself. But it's like it's almost like I just disappoint myself continuously with the issues and these different problems that are being shown to me. And it's to where I'm learning not to be like, oh yeah, why me or anything. Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm always going to be working on something. There's always something that I need to learn. There's always a way I need to grow. But it's like, at the same time, in the back of my mind, it's like, dang man, I'm messed up. I'm so messed up. It's not even funny, to where I'm glad I can see it and that I have the opportunity to get that right. But it's almost like, dang, like it's so many things that's there, to where it's almost like I'm looking at this huge mountain that I have to get over. I have to get around this thing. There's so many of these different things I have to overcome all these things. So, you know, I know it's an issue with I mean, it's what's in the mirror. It is also me recognizing that, nah, this is me, and this is literally what I'm about, and these are the things that I do. But the fact that the Most High is there to show me these things, that gives me hope, because I could very well so be blinded to it, to where I just continuously do it all, you know, over and over all the time. This is it. But, you know, I know with the lasciviousness and everything, that's stemming from the heart, and then also that being also shown in my thoughts. It's one of them things where I know I need help getting rid of that. And because it's stuff that I'm currently going through, where I'm starting to realize, no, it's literally because of this right here. But then it's like I nah, I just know I need help. That's really just the bottom line with it, man. I really don't know what else to say about it. I don't want it to be there. And, you know, normally I would sit there and I would cry and all that stuff, but it's like, why cry if I know it's there? So I know that something can be done about it, because I can see it. But it's still one of them things, man, where it's like, dang, like, I don't know where that comes from, that thought process, where I'm like, I feel bad about it. But I know I shouldn't feel bad about seeing it.
Let me tell you something, Deacon. Um, that's the fight we in, because we in this flesh. Like Elder said, we stuck with it until the day we die, until the day we separated from it. But um, even by you talking and by everybody else speaking, I got emotional earlier because I see it in myself. I'm fighting it every single day. It's like I spend the block on stupid things. You feel me? So
Bro,
we just got to understand that we really got to man up, woman up, strengthen up, give it to God, and leave it wherever it is. Just like Elder gave Miss Sampson that advice. We got to leave it wherever it is, bro. And as hard as it sounds, it's not as hard as it sounds, because God gave us the way, and the way that he gave us was the word no.
yeah.
That word no. when them thoughts start rising in our minds, we could just say no and walk away. And we have to just be strong enough to do that. It takes a certain strength to be able to do that. But with that prayer that I was speaking about, that prayer helps separate us from those thoughts. Or it gives us thoughts to fight those, combat those other thoughts that's in our mind, trying to lead us astray. So we just got to man up a little bit more and strengthen ourselves, because we're in a fight. This is a war. Like, we ready to go to war with certain things and certain ideologies. We got to go to war with ourselves first. And in order to be credible in what we're
Yep.
doing.
Yeah.
So, that's where we at, bro. We got to man up a little bit more. I feel I'm talking to myself too, big time.
No, and I hear that, because that's the one thing I have to I have to learn that, and I have to do it. So it's definitely making it to where there's a toughness that's there, but not, against the Most High, but it's a toughness against the elements that try to weigh me down. So, it do say, not to let our sins weigh us down and our iniquities lift themselves up. So it's just, no, you're right with what you said. But no, I definitely, like I said, when you said, it's like you spin the block with stupid things. It's just like, that's what be getting me messed up. It's like, dude, how do I keep falling and going? It's like I'm going in a circle. And it's this huge relief when I see that, no, it's done. Like, now I can continue to move forward, and boom, now I'm in another washing machine. So,
Going right back to that gate, right back to
man,
right back through them gates. So let's look at the gates and go through it and win for once. That's all. Gotta give
yeah,
it. Let God be our strength, man.
absolutely. But yeah, I didn't want to take up too much time. It's just, I see it, and I know I need to. It's kind of, I just know I need help and reliance on Jehovah, and I need to fast. And that's something that I know that I don't be doing that.
Yeah, I think
But
the men, I think we're gonna start a little thing with the men as well, because these women are doing it. They doing the work. We gotta do something as well. We're gonna figure this out.
absolutely. All right, shalom, brother.
All right, shalom, bro. Brother Edwin, what's up, man?
Shalom, brother. Shalom.
Shalom, bro.
I like to show my face when I'm talking, but I'm gonna try to be brief because my wife want to say something too. I'm dealing with, family members, and this lasciviousness is functioning me by way of anger. But I don't feel that I'm claim that my anger is righteous, but I don't feel it's the same cruelty and the same wrath and fierceness that it once was. Um, I got an older brother he's gave up the ghost, he's gone. I got an older sister who deals with a lot of pride. And I have my younger brother, which we are only 10 and a half months apart. And every year for 11 days, we're the same age. But he leans on me too much, and the word tell us that whom shall he teach knowledge? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Well, my sister, through her pride, refused to deal with the fundamental things that are required for her. And my brother, being weak, always leaning upon me, refused to be drawn away from this breast, this nourishment that I give him. He's stubborn, he's impudent, he's hard-headed, he won't receive the nourishment that I'm giving, but yet he continues to lean upon me and always counts on me to give him suck. It's frustrating. You want to lean on me, but you won't take the guidance that I'm giving you spiritually, because everything comes from JEHOVAH. Everything is by way of the Most High, and I'm trying to show him that I'm not your support. I'm not your staff or your state. It's the Most High. You got to lean on him, and you got to turn upon him in all your ways. You can't sit here and count on me to do this and do that for you, but then you won't follow up on the things that I give you. You won't learn the things that I present to you for sustenance, but then you want to tell me that I'm cruel. that I'm wrathful, I spiritually destroy you, because of the way I talk to you. So it was frustrating, getting that phone call from him Friday. I already knew what he wanted. It's already like every time he needs something, he picks up the phone and calls me. Like I say, every year we're the same age for 11 days. But all his life, he's counting on me. He's depending on me for everything because we grew up without our father. We had a stepfather in our life that did the best that he could, raising up kids that showed him no respect. And I know how frustrating that was now that I look back on those things. But I'm just trying to figure out how can I go about, not displaying the anger. It's not that I don't love them, my sister and brother. It's just that I'm angry with the pride that she shows, the impudence that he has. And they continue to call me and want to lean upon me, but yet, it's all physical. But what I give them is spiritual and they refuse it. But then they call me and say, I'm the one that's angry. I'm the one that's wrathful. I'm the one. My brother actually accused me of being in sin by the way that I responded to him. And I showed him through scripture, I'm not in sin because I'm rebuking you in righteousness and love. And I'm not going to suffer sin upon you. I love you. And I'm giving you warning. You're a wicked person. I'm giving you warning. I'm taking the blood off of my hands. And I understand that the things that I've done in my life, even if the Most High don't put me in the lake of fire, I still got to pay for what I've done. The Most High is good. He's just. He is merciful, but he's just. Just like David, for what he did through the prophet Nathan, the Spirit of God spoke to him and said, for the things you've done, I'm not going to put you in the lake of fire, but you're going to be punished. He brought all types of confusion in his house by way of his children. So David had to live with that punishment, even though he may not have been put in the lake of fire. Just like I know, even though the Most High may not put me in the lake of fire, I still have to pay for what I've done. No man is innocent before the Most High. So these are the things they need to understand. All this wickedness you've done in your life, you can't escape the judgment. Only thing you can do is put your sins out there and confess them and turn away from them and hope that the Most High will have mercy on you on the day of judgment. But we can't escape the things that we've done. We got to be held accountable. But they look at me as a person that's wrathful to them because I'm telling them the truth, and it's frustrating. So I just see that lasciviousness still working in me by way of anger, but I don't feel as cruel anger. I don't feel that it's wrathful anger, but nonetheless, it's there, and and I'm trying to work on that, and that's all I got, brother.
My question to you, Brother Edwin, is this anger you speak of, you said it's not coming from a place of hate or anything like that. It's coming from a place of frustration. But that's also a form of pride that you're dealing with as well. For the fact that you feel like it's your responsibility to your brother and your sister, and you're like holding them down as a father, but they're grown. So sometimes you got to walk away, especially if you're giving them tools for their lives spiritually and they're not adhering to what you're saying. So sometimes you got to, for your own sake of peace of mind, you have to walk away from that situation. And it's going to be the hardest thing because now you're already getting scorned by them. But for your own sake, you might have to just fall back so you can work on yourself. You got to you got your own soul to save. You know what I'm saying? You can't save your brother and your sister. You could give them the tools that they need, and if they're not listening to you, then you got to walk away, bro. I got children, grown children that I speak to, and my son is not trying to hear nothing. So guess what I did? I don't press him. We'll talk. He calls me, I call him. They just came back from vacation. They just came back off a cruise. They hanging out. They call me while they on the cruise. We kick it. But as far as me trying to share the word and all that, try to pound something into his head, all that's over. Until he comes to me and say, Dad, what are you talking about? Where do we go from here? Until that day happens, my conscience is clear because I tried to give it to him and he don't want it. You know what I'm saying? And those are my children. So, bro, for your own sake of mind and for your own salvation, let it go. It's gonna be hard for a little while because they're gonna keep pressing you. But that's just the thing that comes with this flesh. That comes with this lifestyle. That's that furnace of adversity I'm speaking about. Not my words. All right. So, bro, you all right, man. You good people, man. I could feel your heart for some reason every time you talk. I understand. I see the sincerity in what you're saying, and I see that you want this for yourself. So hold on to it and stay in that book, bro. You feel me? And let that book work on you. Let them words work on you. And for some reason, I'm extending my speech to you because I don't talk like that for a long time. But it's not me talking. I feel it's a spirit coming through me saying this to you. All right? So stay the course, my brother. And sometimes you got to walk away and put things down so you can be all right for yourself.
Appreciate it, Deacon.
Yeah, real quick. I share the same thing. D couldn't have said it better because yeah, bro, we can see your heart. We can truly see it. But you did say your wife wanted to speak.
Oh yeah.
That's what I just wanted to say that, and I'm coming off. But he said his wife wanted to speak. I just wanted to make sure we just didn't shoot past her.
Got you. Sorry about that, brother Edwin.
Yeah, camera.
All right. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, sis.
I know I normally don't get up here. I'm in the background listening. And I'm not going to try to take up too much time, but this is about last Bible study. I just want to thank Deacon Hicks and Sister Valerie. I didn't start the fast when she pronounced it, but with all those testimonies from last Sunday, I did start a fast last week. And I just want to say all praises to the Most High for that. But what I wanted to really say, like, I don't get up here because I say I'm kind of shy, but I just thank everyone for their testimonies. I just feel like this is truly a watering place because it's just helped me to get a little bit bolder in what I need to do, and me more on my study, just building myself up, just so that hopefully one day I can see salvation through, living an obedient life through Christ. And when I'm just looking forward to the women's Bible study that's gonna come up in February. So that's all I wanted to say.
Keep on coming up, sister. That's all I got to say to you. Keep on talking. Shalom to you. Thank you.
Shalom. Thank you.
Your brother Wade, what's up, man?
Shalom, how you doing?
Good, bro. Shalom to you.
Okay. So I just wanted to I don't want to talk too long, but for me, the lasciviousness that happened to me, because you said if it overcame you, or so mine's was basically the cares of the family that I created, cares of my spouse or my children, my kids, right? Mm-hmm. So like a couple years ago, and I'm pretty sure everybody probably knows about it, but things happen to where, I put so much more work into trying to either spoon feed or to teach people who really just didn't want, to hear it. And, that Luke 21:15, it tells you you're going to be hated by all men. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of just, with me trying to have more cares for people that were in my household, it always contradicted my walk when it came to me getting the meat that I needed and me getting the food that I needed. And honestly, over time, it ended up destroying me with everything, with every work, with everything that I had, because I had so much more. My desires were just not to learn, to continually learn each and every day. My desire was, okay, let me go here. I'm gonna look up this lesson and then I'm gonna try and change it within my own way to get it to fit, to maybe they'll get it when I show them this. Maybe they'll get it when I show them that. And even elder, all the elders, maybe not every other elder, but me, elder, even the deacons, the brothers, they always, it would get so crazy because I was following a delusion. You know what I mean? I was following such a delusion, and I knew I was. And that's the thing, that lasciviousness. I would wake up, try to find different ways that I can somehow serve two masters. And they all stemmed from me being afraid of losing these people. But the thing is, if you're not walking, within the scriptures, within the right way, and then you're trying to, tell somebody, anybody, and they're not getting it, and you're showing them, book, chapter, verse, you're showing them, and you're showing the contradictions within their own trust, they're already lost. And the fact of the matter is, you're losing yourself, because we're supposed to love the Most High God with all our mind, heart, and soul. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to always put the Most High first, and that's just something that I was not doing. Even to this day, I catch myself trying to spoon feed, and it's like, dude, I gotta shake the dust off my feet. So I think I got a little bit better, but I just, what we've been learning with the trials, they're gonna happen again. So now, that's why I thank you for this class. I thank Elder for putting you where you are, and I'm just thankful for the whole KJBU, because back in those days, I was so focused on losing the people that didn't want to be any part of this. And all I ever had to do was click on the link. All I ever had to do was just tune back in. And none of these brothers and sisters have ever forsook, anything, any part of me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think is so great, because the Most High's word is everlasting. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to have that desire to push forward. So I just wanted to share that on my little, walking journey.
Real quick, with him. I want you to remember one thing, my brother. Nobody walk as little, so you don't have a little walk. Your soul is just more important than any one of ours here. But one thing, always remember, don't never forget this, and this is for anybody. A lot of people like to spoon feed.
Yeah.
Only time you spoon feed is when somebody want to learn the truth. You seen that example yesterday, what we was trying to do with that lady. We were spoon feeding her. Just walking her through it, spoon feed. People who don't want the truth, you don't spoon feed. I shove it down your throat and won't think twice. The reason why,
Yeah.
if they choose they don't want it, once you share it with them and they reject it, why are you going to try to spoon feed them later? It makes no sense. My thing is, I'll let you choke and die and I'll walk away. Because why? I shared the truth. You decided you don't want it. So now if you come back to me and then you want to try to think you can contradict what I showed you. Oh no, I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna cut you again. I'm gonna do surgery on you. I'm gonna try to choke you. I'm gonna do all these things because the main thing is they're not there to be a friend to learn. They're there to try to contradict. And my main thing is to make my God a liar. And so I'm against it. But no, never spoon feed anyone unless they come to you seeking the truth. They're not seeking the truth, you spoon feed nobody.
All right, bro. Shalom, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Shalom, Sister Jareda.
Shalom, Deacon Hicks.
Okay.
So I'm struggling with that, with them thoughts for sure. And it's been for a while now. Cause just now, like I was like, with them thoughts was like, no, don't say anything, don't speak. Nah, you're gonna embarrass yourself because you don't know how to formulate words right. Like, nah, I'm gonna say something because this I need help with this for sure. So, um, yeah, and that's what I struggle with. But for this day forward, like I'm gonna start talking more. No matter how I don't know how to formulate words, it's gonna get better eventually. So um yeah, and when I have questions, I'm gonna ask. So that's that.
Look,
Thoughts ain't gonna win.
for some reason, I understood everything you just said. So that was you, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I struggle with that, and it comes fear. Fear comes through, like it comes like, yeah, don't say anything, or what other people think about me, or just all that comes. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna cut. That's gonna get cut out. So, and I this teaching was definitely needed. So I appreciate it.
It's all good, sis. Thank you.
And all she need to do is trail her husband. When
Right?
he need to speak, he speak. Now he'll come off shy, but he's not shy. So all you need to do, that's all you got to do is watch your husband, because when he speak, he speaks.
Yeah.
And, and
He
he,
had a couple of jewels. I saw it too.
Yeah, he be telling me, especially when we out, like when somebody like, cause it was an incident. This lady, she purposely bumped me, and I didn't speak up because of fear or and all that. And he was like, "Nah, you should have said something." It's like, see, don't listen, just don't listen. But yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, listen to your husband.
Thank you. Shalom.
Says again, if anything, open your mouth, all right? But keep putting that hand up. I'm good. Sister Martin.
Shalom, Deacon. How are you?
Good. Thank you, sister.
Shalom, everybody. So, one thing I know for sure that I'm struggling with, which I thought I left it somewhere, but it still pops up, which is being vulnerable, right? To an open group of people. I can do it if, it's me and you just talking. We can talk, but being open in front of a lot of people is something that I know for sure I've struggled with. And it kind of led me to really me looking at flesh and worrying about what people think about me and of me. My husband mentioned that to me before, but of course it went in one ear. It stayed there for a minute and then it went out. But but I know it's a struggle of mine. And when you went to Exodus 14:14, that is something that I always kind of revert back to. But I know after speaking with one of the deacons, he reeled it in for me and he showed me exactly through scripture what I was doing. So what I have came to a conclusion for myself is that when I do share things, I'm not sharing it um don't do it. Don't worry about pretty much what people gonna think about you, because people gonna talk about you till the day you die. But the reason you are sharing things is really for the Most High, and for your salvation. You just being open. Of course, I talk to Jehovah in private a lot, and he know all the stuff, but I do know now that I wasn't being as vulnerable as I should be or should need to be, I would say. So that's one of the things that I know for sure. I'm gonna continue to work on and just say it.
There's definitely an exercise, and when you're showing vulnerability in front of a group, you're really releasing for yourself, and you don't understand how strong you will become.
Right.
But so I appreciate you expressing yourself and sharing.
Thank you.
Thank
Sure.
you. Brother Barry, what's up, bro?
Shalom, bro.
Shalom, man.
Shalom, everybody. Man, I was just that was some edification. I had something to say then, Brother Edmund came on. He done threw me all up under another bus. I'm like, damn, I didn't even see that anger, that frustration in there. I didn't even see that as that. So yeah, I needed all of this because there's some stuff I got to get rid of myself. Like, cause I just sit on it like, okay, just calm down, calm. But it just keeps snapping. Like, no. Get back to this. So yeah, but on the lesson, yeah, that's some edification, man. Cause it's like being able to wrap my head around that word. Now I can see it for what it is and then understanding it. And I definitely needed that. As opposed to just asking for help. I can see what he tearing down for me. And I be needing that. So yeah. And that's what I had. I hope it made sense. I don't be
No, I did. I got you. But the thing is, right, that that second part was when I was speaking about fasting through prayer to God, and he let him, having that faith that he's our strength. He came into our bodies as a fierce man of war.
Right.
All right. So let him fight. Let him
Right.
fight for us. So it's really confident to know that we got that spirit to fight our spirits. To rein us back in. So if we could give it in and let our pride go, he'll hold us down, bro. You feel me?
Yep.
I appreciate you, man. Shalom. Brother Matt, Sister Lisa.
Shalom.
Shalom, bro.
Yeah, the imaginations of your heart, that things that I have thoughts all the time that I just have to continually fight because of the lifestyle that I used to live. The one thing about appeasing the flesh, a lot of times it's fun, the partying and all those other things that I used to do, they continually pop in my mind, the taking the pictures like Elder was talking about yesterday and posting them all on Facebook. I was most definitely guilty of that. Like I said, the partying, the fornication that I used to do, it always pops in my mind. And well, you live in such a boring life right now, and trying to get me to go back into those old ways of life. And I just have to continually, every day, fight those thoughts. Where they come from, like, I don't know. I could just be sitting watching TV and it'll pop in my head something that I used to do, something, a memory of something that I've done, and it's a everyday battle fighting this flesh. And even the little simple things sometimes, like I don't have a problem with asking the questions. My problem has become the reaching out when I need the help in my studies. Like in our Thursday men's meeting, Elder said something, and I've been meaning to call him since then. Now I ain't did it yet. Always something popping in my mind where he's busy. I get the next thing you know, the whole day that went past, and I didn't make that call. So it's a continuous fight on something. And even when I get frustrated, I just continue to pray. And because the one thing that I refuse to do is go back and look back. I gotta keep pressing forward at all times. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. Even some of those things that I really feel like I've conquered, those desires still have a way of showing their face. So uh, I most definitely need to practice the fasting because that's something that I haven't done. And hopefully that also will help me come back because I always wonder like why do these things pop up in my head? And I know that's just one of my battles of fight this flesh. So that's what I had.
I hear you, bro. So, stay in that word. Uh again, these ideas and thoughts is always going to spin the block. It's always going to come back. So, because we trapped in this flesh till the day we die. So, stay where you are, stay the course, stay in that book, stay in that word, and let the Lord keep working on you, man. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Give into those thoughts. I'm gonna keep it real. We got about a half an hour left, so Sister Shanae gonna be the last one, but we can go to Sister Tanya.
Shalom, Deacon Hicks.
Hello, sis.
All right, I appreciate your lesson today. It brought a lot forth um, that I'm working on. I'm working on everything, so I'm consistently trying to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And you definitely put us on the right track, or put me on the right track. I can't speak for anyone else, but definitely put me on the right track, and I appreciate that. You've done a lot of things in your life and have failed at a lot of things, but this walk right here, I cannot fail. I have to pass this test. I have to make it. So I appreciate that. I'm going to go back to a statement on a scripture that you made because I never really looked at that verse that way. And it kind of, you kind of made it more personal. You went to Romans 1 and 20 about the invisible things of Him. Um, when I normally think about the scripture, Elder always try to, get us to focus on our surroundings and the things that he's trying to tell us. But I think you kind of broke it down more personal. It's like I think and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were saying whatever's in our heart, it'll kind of show up in our works. I guess.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha. And I really never look at that verse that way. So you need to pay more attention, you know, to my works, and that's going to really show what I have in my heart. So I appreciate that. And so that kind of goes to the scripture Elder did yesterday, about about what's in the heart. The mouth speaketh, the heart. I think that was in Luke that he kind of went over. So I kind of correlate those two together. So I appreciate that. That was really more personal for me. Another thing Elder said today when he was talking to one of the sisters, he was like, stop looking at other people. You need to look at yourself. So my question is, I deal with a lot of personalities every day, and I guess my question is, sometimes when you deal with different people and personalities, that personality that you're dealing with, or that person attitude that you're dealing with, can I relate it into a way the Most High is trying to tell me something? Is that the way I'm treating the Most High? Or when am I supposed to learn from that? Or am I just thinking too deep into it? Just, take it for what it is. Instead of looking at that person, I need to look at what that person is trying to teach me in a certain way that I need to correct for myself.
Was gonna before you even said that, I was gonna say take every encounter as a learning experience, a teaching curve. So I would certainly look at the way a person comes at you, or the conversation that you may have with a certain person, because the way you respond to them is also an effect, would affect your walk. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you could take everything as a learning experience, everything for the learning. Everything is for learning.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I appreciate that. That helps out a lot as well too. And thank you again for everything.
Thank you for sharing, Sister Tonya. Shalom to you.
Shalom.
Sister Marilyn.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, everyone. Yeah, I thank Jehovah for this reminder. For me, it's a couple of things that I think about when I have wicked thoughts that cross my mind. I try to think of ways why it's triggered. I also think about my surroundings and what I'm doing in my interactions with other, which, of course, we're in the wilderness. Some of those things we can't get around. I try to go back and look at what our ancestors did in their trials and what they questioned. The one that really comes to mind is in Genesis 39:9, when Joseph just verbalizes out loud not wanting to do wickedness against the Most High. Although it's always going to be a struggle. My struggle is when I look in the mirror, I try to pardon my own wickedness, if that makes sense. And then today's review, because we should know, when you went to Isaiah 3:16, and we think about those slick ways that we do things, to me, I just kind of felt like I was pardoning that because I didn't really realize what that looked like. Even though sometimes in my thoughts it looks innocent, it's really wicked. It's a slick way. So I'm still working on that, and I'm going to meditate on that verse for sure. Just trying to take out what I think is innocent about my thoughts so I can be, proved correctly to straighten myself out and be the one that he's looking for. So I just wanted to share that part of what I got out of what we were reviewing today and what I learned. So I'm just very grateful. And I'm also grateful for the imagery as well. I don't know if I was looking at it a little differently, Elder Johnson, but when the little boy threw the book across the room, I just thought, like, I know I'd be throwing that Bible across the room with this chastisement. So just to pick that book back up and just go through my chastisement to get proven is the goal that I want. So I just appreciate you allowing me to share my thoughts this morning, and that I'll admit I'm still working on myself. Thank you. Shalom.
You let God work on you. That's what that prayer is about, right? You let go and you let God work on you. Because we don't have the power to work on ourselves. We ain't him. All right?
Thank you. I sure will.
Elder Johnson's not in.
All right. Brother Connor.
Shalom, Deacon.
Shalom, bro.
Yeah. the beautiful thing about what the service of Jehovah do, you guys, that you give us the keys that we can apply in our life, and you can actually see the results from those things once we apply them. And I was in a situation this week. It was a medical situation, emergency medical situation, where my dialysis is different from the clinic. I have a catheter that runs through my stomach, and I do my dialysis through there. You can't tell because I'm so skinny and tall, kind of lean. But anyway, I had a leak in my catheter in a vital spot because I have clamps on my catheter. But this part didn't have a clamp. I couldn't find my emergency clamp. So I started panicking. And I was leaking fluid all over the place. I was like, oh no, because it started my treatment. And I said, some say, calm down. Remember the Psalms lesson, let God guide you through everything. Started meditating. Then the leak started subsiding. Because I had like a bucket, emergency bucket that I use anyway. Then I called the nurse. She said, okay, just wrap it up in a underpad, and then you wrap it with some tape, and you tape it like you usually do, tape it, and we'll look at it. So that was that impatience. They're trying to come back. That was fighting against the impatience. And so the next day, I went in there, and the nurse that took my call, she was working on my catheter. And during that time, she came into a conversation about my belief. And when she put to work in my catheter, she took like 35, 40 minutes reading the scriptures, going through there. I was introducing her into the word, and she didn't have any. I said, maybe that was the Most High put me through all that for this to get the message to her. And then the people that I called to take me home, they were late. And I called them and caught myself. No need being disrespectful or anything. Just talk normal. Talk normal. Yeah, I have to, and got on the bus, said my fare. She shared some food. The lady that came pick me up shared some chips and stuff with me. So I know you was out here waiting. So had I went the other way with it, it'd have been a whole different thing. So seeing it, seeing how you apply it and seeing the results from it is beautiful. I mean, it let me know God is working to fix me, heal me. Because he sent his word into a land of destruction, and I was destroyed totally. And he woke me up from the dead. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for service like you, the elders, the brothers the brothers that I also learned from. And as I have to say, I just it's just the thoughts. Those thoughts are there. You have to recognize them and shut them down immediately. And that's what I try to do, because this flesh is, we look in the mirror, we see it's an idol. We have to destroy that idol until we don't see anything. And that's God teaching us how to live without this idol and to depend on him for everything. And I thank you for giving me the time to speak.
It's all good, brother. Stay encouraged. I appreciate your input. All right, thank you, man. Sister Tequila.
Shalom, shalom.
Hey, shalom, sis.
I was sitting back and I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything, but that's something that I've been dealing with. Like when I go to pray and I'm praying that the Most High help me obtain the fruits of the Spirit, and that word always pops up, and I'm like, nah, I don't want that. I'm like, I don't want that, but no, I need help with that. And that lasciviousness, that word has been playing over and over, and I never really just understood the fundamentals of it. And I never did just really grasp on to what that word means. And that's something that I really struggle with, because I'm like, I want to help everybody. I got this business, it's the time of the year, and I want, people to have more, but it's like, okay, what is it profiting you? You sticking your neck out for them, and you know, you putting yourself in a messed up position with the Most High, not them. You know, because you trying to give a cheat code, but you cheating yourself, and it's like it's doing more harm than good. And so it's like, why keep doing that? You know, why keep having, you know, putting yourself in that position when it's not beneficial to your spirit? And it's like I have to obtain, and you know, just think about that, the positive, the positivity that will come out of it by me walking the right way. Yeah. And not, you know, succumbing to my own thoughts and my own want. So that's all I had to add.
I hear you, sis. Again, that prayer and stepping out of the way, that's the way we're gonna be able to start fasting from that lasciviousness. Feel me?
Yes, sir.
I
Thank you.
appreciate your input, sis. Shalom to you.
Shalom, shalom.
Sister Jenkins.
Shalom, you hear me okay?
Yup, shalom, shalom.
Okay. I'm kind of in the same boat as Brother Edwin. I'm going to try to make this quick, but my mind is heavy. Okay. Lasciviousness, like with him, he said, like, it turns into anger. So I'm like kind of in the same boat with the anger thing. So what I'm trying to do is understand the anger. Like, just a few examples. 1 Kings 8:58, it says, you know, in a nutshell, to walk in all his ways is the parts I'm just using. And then clearly God hates because it says, I despise your feast days in Amos 5:21. Okay, I promise I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, Romans 12:9, let love be without dissimulation, arbor that which is evil. And then what I'm trying to say is, how do you hate righteously? You know, because in Galatians 5:20, hatred is in there, which is a work of the flesh. So I'm just trying to figure out how do you hate righteously without falling into sins of the flesh? Because is it like spiritually to hate in the way of not doing the things that is against God? Does that make sense? Am I going too fast?
A spiritual hate, when you hate and you want to hate wickedness, you want to hate that. That's a healthy hate.
Yes.
You
Okay.
recognize wickedness and try to stay away from it. That's hate.
Yes.
Hate and wickedness. You know what I'm saying? That's the good hate. God despises our feast days. He hates those. He hates the sinners.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So this is righteous hate. You stay away from those things. You know? So if you have a certain type of the lasciviousness you're speaking of is probably your confusion. Like you're thinking that your thoughts are
Okay.
of anger at sinful things or things that might be in the opposite way of God's commandments, and the lasciviousness in your case might be working it out in your mind that might be a wrong type of hate, and then you start looking at it in a confusing manner. See, because God is not the author of confusion. So you just get those ideas correct and straighten that out. And again, prayer, let him show you, he'll show you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. And the word, you get more understanding and meditate on the words on those scriptures that you even meted out to me just now. Meditate on those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Because I'm trying to look at it more spiritually than carnally, but I did, you know, because then I'm taking it seriously, like, and then hate, like, and then you don't want that hate to turn to anger.
No, don't.
Like, you know, like what he
It's
said, dealing with
different.
his.
It's like when you're trying to, it's a hurtful thing. You don't want to bring it to that realm. You don't want to bring it there.
Yeah, because he said, like, dealing with his brothers and sisters, like, he gets angry and dealing with them because they're not taking hold. You know what I
Again, I
mean?
was
And
showing
then,
him that was pride in him trying to take.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful of that as well.
Yeah, it's a thin line.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Problem says shalom. Sister Proctor.
Shalom. I'm gonna try not to take too long because I know you don't have much time left. The word that got me today when you said tinkling noise. I said I have a lot of noise in my head, murmurings. I'm like, okay, then I start to murmur. I know what happened to people in the Bible that murmured, murmur, tinkling noise, me. I thought I left it in the water, but I guess it hid itself somewhere deep. And now it's starting to rear its head again. This murmuring, this noise is just there. And my issue, I have to admit, is feminism. I can't get over that. It's like a tit for tat with me. It's like, why can men do that, but women can't? And I must even admit, when we started with the fasting, I was like, what about the men? It's always there. It rears its head. I try to pull it down, but it's there. And it's like I seem to can't get rid of that. Everything in my head, it's just why can men do and why can't women? This is the dross that's within me. And it's like I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. So if any of the elders, deacons, I did submit a question, but then I asked for it to be removed because it's so carnal in a sense. But if anybody is willing to just listen to my thoughts, which is, I know, wrong, but just so I can just try and end this once and for all, if they can contact me. It's just my full name, tracyproctor@hotmail.com. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sis. We'll get somebody on that. Tracy Proctor at Hotmail.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sister Penn.
Shalom, everyone. I just want to thank you for this lesson. I'm not going to be long. What stood out for me was we cannot, the thoughts are spirit. There's a war going on in our minds. Nothing physical about it that we can. Only the spirit of at home. And Romans 1:20. I used to wonder what that was always talking about. Now I understood it carnally, that the things that we see with eyes, now you look at that and you learn from that. Now today, when you said that, I wrote it down in my own way. Tell me if I'm wrong. The invisible things in our mind are clearly seen in our actions.
Yep.
Thank you. That stood up for me. And I thank you for bringing the way how you bring yours. I also contacted Larry and had a talk, and I went a little further. And what came to me was things that in my thoughts, it was always negative. Why you are speaking negative? Why you are thinking negative? Think positive. And I was thinking negative about myself. So now I am thinking positive, trying to get rid of the pride and being bold, participating. And I thank God that, He's dealing with me, and I just has in store for me. And
I'm sorry, Sister Penn, you broke up the last part.
I'm open to where He's taking me, and thank you.
Thank
Shalom.
you.
Okay.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for sharing. Shalom. Sister Brown.
Shalom, Deacon Hicks.
Shalom.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. First, I hope my words come out correctly. I can relate to Sister Sharada. And when I speak, formulating my words, and when it comes out, it's not always the way I intended it for it to be. Due to that, sometimes I'm afraid, or it may not appear that way, but it brings about fear and thoughts in my mind of inadequacy, dealing with not feelings of being good enough. This for me started in childhood. So I know the root of when it started, and that's not feeling good enough, and how it has traveled with me up until today. And it also brings and I can go from 100 to zero in a snap of not feeling good enough. It could be, for an example, when we do homework and my answer not be correct, or me feeling like it wasn't correct, even though it's there to edify us and bring about a righteous fruit, it still brings about not this thing that comes over me. I'm not pleasing the Most High God of Israel. I'm not a good servant. It becomes huge. One incident for me becomes a huge thing. And so, and then even what it's within me. However, it got to a place where I began to blame others. And even when I made my confession, that didn't even come out correct. Meaning the comfortability of having someone to push you, and then the flesh rise up and have a different thought of what the process is. This also, like I said, started with childhood, not feeling good enough there, and learning how to be approved work, like substituting cleaning or trying to please your parents to get the same type of love, of affection that your siblings are getting, and that equate to trying to get their approval. And that thing is still there. It has not moved, except spiritually. I began to think that I'm not going to make it into the kingdom. I'm not a good servant. The Spirit of God don't.
Well, let me stop you right there, Sister Brown. Let me tell you something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what an omer is, right?
Yes.
All right. So why you letting your own thoughts get in the way of what that omer means? See, that's that pride right there. And you have to, but today's message today is really about fasting from those ideals. So we gotta let that go. We can't, you got the rest of your life to learn. But the point is the heart that you have to want to learn, the heart that you have to want to stay holy and separated unto God, the heart that you want to have to please him. And the way to please him is to stay in his word, to stay under his commandments, right? So you want to just, again, stay in that prayer, stay under his protection, right? You're gonna learn, but you got to learn at your own rate. Don't think just because somebody learned at a certain rate that you're supposed to be right there as well. That's not the case. That's not realistic. Study for burning ground.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's the lasciviousness, not
exactly. That's what I'm saying too, because you're letting those thoughts overtake you. You're letting those thoughts of inadequacy cloud your judgment.
Right. So the pride would be arrogance or some type of haughtiness. The vulnerability is to come before the people and speak on what you're dealing with, which is this root of love and approval from what happened and how I have transpired that into where I am today.
Beautiful.
The pride, I mean, would let me continue to say, well, it is what it is. However, because I became quiet or not speaking, which brought about fear and inadequacy, and needing a need to be delivered, help, healing from these fleshly desires. And I just brought up an example of what takes place, what happens. This just didn't start here. This started from childhood. And then my thoughts would go to tinkling, just all kind of different thoughts in my head. So this is what I'm saying. Not that I know that
I get it now. I'm sorry
Right.
about that. I misunderstood. I thought
Right.
you was filling that space. So
No. I'm just saying that when these things happen, because I'm still looking for an approval, then I can go from a 100 to a zero, like feeling inadequate, the feelings of not being adequate. And I know that it's wrong. I know that it's not righteous. And I've known that for quite some time. However, how to deal with it, the counseling, staying in my own lane. I love my brothers and sisters, and I love the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's coming out of them. But that's how my sister was. She was extremely smart. She was and that's like, and when my parents accepted her, she was just, I had issues. I'm dark. She was brown, lighter skin. I'm dark, no hair, dark and skinny.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off, Sister Brown, but we got 2 minutes.
Oh, that's it. Just the end.
No, I don't want to disrespect by cutting off what you're saying.
No. I'm good. I'm finished.
All right. So I get what you're saying. I understand it, and you brought me back to it. So yeah. We in our own head sometimes, you know what I'm saying? We just gotta get away from ourselves and let God take over. And I'm hoping that you're understanding that in your walk. If you have any other things that you want to speak on, you got my email, right?
Yes, I have your email.
All right, so you can holler at me. Shalom to you. Sister Melissa.
Shalom.
Shalom, sis.
Okay, so
You got
me,
you got literally 1 minute.
okay, so for me, the thoughts, pop up every now and again. And so I'm thankful that this teaching came out to where I could recognize that, hey, that is part of lasciviousness. So I could continue doing what I normally would do, which is pull out my fringe of a scripture and recite it in my head. And then also I would need to meditate more on the word. That's what I'm doing. I just want to do it more. And also because what you brought out is basically what I prayed for last night as I continue to pray daily. So yeah, so that's all I wanted to say, because it was so timely, and I just did this last night. So yeah.
I appreciate your input. Shalom to you. Sorry, Sister Shanae. I'm so sorry, but we have run out of time. I really appreciate you all joining me this morning for the first day of the week study. We're gonna get into Deacon James teaching his lesson right now. It's probably going on. So forgive me, brother. Forgive me. And shalom to all of y'all. Appreciate y'all joining me again today.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Thank God for you.
Shalom.
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 Shalom.